It is often said that it is the Himalayas where gods dwell on earth. Heavenly, magical, mystical. Nature at its best. And in the lap of Himalayas lie the Alpine zone that is mother to one of the world's natural beauties, the Valley of Flowers. The Alpine zone represents one of the most fascinating biomes in the Himalayas. This is a zone of treeless vegetation, spark seasonality, specialized plants and animals, and above all, headwaters of the Himalayan rivers, which form the life of millions in the North India. Despite their fungibility and low productivity, the alpine habitats are rich in species diversity and intrinsic values. The growing season for alpine vegetation is a short fleeting summer of some 15 to 20 weeks, during which the plants germinate, grow, flower and set seeds. The alpine plants are also well known for their bright colored flowers, which are largely an adaptation to maximize the insect pollination in a low temperature environment. Alpine meadows are locally known as Bugyal in Garhwal and Kumaon regions of Uttarakhand. These areas are well known for their scenic beauty, floral diversity and repositories of a number of valuable medicinal herbs. The Valley of Flowers National Park is located in Chamoli Garhwal, about 595 kilometers northeast of Delhi in the state of Uttarakhand. Its altitude ranges from 3,200 meters to 6,675 meters. Such a variation in the altitude provides a great diversity of landscape. Govind Ghat is the starting point of the trek route to the Valley of Flowers and Hemkund Sahib. This is situated at the confluence of river Alaknanda, a tributary of the Ganges, and Lakshman Ganga, also known as Bhundiar Ganga. One can reach Rishikesh to Govind Ghat via National Highway 58, which leads towards a holy shrine, Badrinath. After ascending 2 kilometers from Govind Ghat, there comes a village, Pulna. This valley was not uncommon for the villagers of Bhundar village. For the first time, this treasure was disclosed to the entire world through a mountaineer's book. For that, he spent few nice months in this valley. This hidden treasure, or should we say nature's beautiful secret, was revealed to British mountaineer Frank S. Smythe and R.L. Holdsworth in 9th July 1931 when they reached here after a successful expedition of Mount Kamet. Frank Smythe was the person who brought the attention of mountain lovers and botanists towards this Bhundiar Valley. The 6-member team crossed the Bhundiar Pass in 1931 after a successful summit on Mount Kamet. Suddenly, cloud disappeared and revealed alpine meadows spread across with wildflowers. There, primula, asters, wild roses and many other beautiful flowers greeted them. The many hundreds of flowering species led Smythe to come and join this Bhundiar Valley again later in 1937 and refer to the valley as the Valley of Flowers. Drawn by the irresistible lure of the place, Smythe revisited in 1937 and published a book, The Valley of Flowers, celebrating the beauty of this extraordinary valley. In the book, he sings his admiration like one who has been truly awestruck by the deepness of his experience. John Margaret Legge, in June 1939, as a botanist in the Royal Botanical Garden in England, she empowered to complete Smythe's work on the flora of the valley. Smythe's previous work on the valley was not sufficient for a scientific research. Unfortunately, during her collection of the flowers, she fell down from a cliff and died. This memorial stone over her grave was later placed here in 1941 when her elder sister came here just to collect her works and other goods. The scripture at her tomb bears a shining great faith in the Himalayas and its enchanting beauty. The scripture still today motivates a lot of tourists to join this valley repeatedly and depicts her great faith for the pristine nature. In Hindu mythology, the valley has been described as Nandankanan, associating with garden of Lord Indra in paradise. Beside the valley of flowers, there is a holy shrine, Hemkund Sahib, 6 kilometers upwards from Ghangaria. Local and old name for this place is Lokpal. Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru of Sikh religion, meditated here in his previous birth. This place is associated with Lakshman, brother of Lord Ram, who is said to have meditated on the banks of Hemkund. Now, there is a little known Hindu temple, Lokpal, dedicated to Lakshman, stands beside a magnificent Sikh shrine. The main portion of the valley runs in the east-west direction along the river Pushpavati. The central valley is about 10 kilometers square in area. River Pushpavati originates from the left bank of Tipra Glacier near Bhundiar Kham, flows down through the valley and joins Lakshman Ganga at Ghangaria to form Bhundar River. This river drains into Alaknanda, a tributary of Ganges at Govind Ghat, about 12 kilometers downstream. A total of 521 species of vascular plants are recorded and identified within the national park. Most of the tourists visit the Valley of Flowers in the months of July and August. As most of the visitors are limited by time, it is not possible for them to see the whole range of habitat types and floral diversity of the park described in the different literatures. It is impossible to summarize all the species found in the valley. So, we shall give you a brief account of the flora of this valley within its other adjoining valleys. Anemone, a beautiful white flower. This is the full patch of anemone near Leges Memorial Stone. Angelica, a nicely crowned flower. See the sky through the flower bunch. It seems that you are touching the sky. The local name is choru, roots used in cure for food poisoning and in woman vigor. Balsam impatiens species, a very common flower species. During the monsoon, the whole valley is covered with this beautiful gul mehendi flower. The pink flower decorate the valley with the pink color. Phodophyllum Haxandrum, Bankakari, a highly medicinal plant. Seeds of this plant are used in cancer and breathing problems. Betula utilis, the inner bark of this plant is used in the making of medicines for indigestion and flatulence. The outer bark in ancient times used in the making of paper for writing epics. Most of the Vedas are written on the bark of this tree. The local name of this tree is Bhojapatra. Sausuria of Valata, state flower of Uttarakhand, locally known as Brahma Kamal. It is very common all around the Hemkund lake during the monsoons. The fragrance of this flower is also very pleasant. Others are Gossipifora, Graminifolia, Costus, Simpsoniana. The flower part of this plant is used in reproductive disorders. Caltha palustris is the early growing flower after the first snow melts. Commonly germinates near the marshy areas, so also called marsh marigold. The floral part is used in anemia, warts and in tincture. Campanula latifolia. Common name for this flower is large bellflower. June last to mid-August is very abundant. When the wind blows, the whole colony of bellflower, it seems that they are dancing with the wind. Common names for these plants are cobra lily, most abundant 3 kilometers before Ghangaria. For the person encountering for the first time with this plant may cause a fear of snake between the bushes or near tree trunks. Unfortunately, so many visitors pluck it for ornamenting their bags or bottles. Gaultheria trichophilia. These blue-colored fruits are used as a medicine for wounds and cough. It smells like eucalyptus. Geranium wallichianum, a very common plant species in the Valley of Flowers, commonly known as ratijari or sora. The roots and leaves are used in the making of medicines for headache, rheumatic pain and for wounds. Hakelia uncinata. The common name for this blue-colored flower is forget-me-not. It is very common throughout the route to the Valley of Flowers. Dictylorhiza hataziria. Hatajadi is its common name. The shape of the root of this plant is just like a human hand, showing the finger type of growth. This is highly medicinal and a charm of interest for the poachers. The tubers of this plant is used in tonics. It is an aphrodisiac and the local remedy for the wounds. Jatamasi. The rhizome of this plant is used in preparing scented agarbatti and dhoop. Medicinal use is in epilepsy and hysteria, locally known as masi. Mecanopsis aculeata, blue poppy, queen of the Himalayan flowers. Not so common on valley slopes, but very common on Hemkund route. A nice blue-colored tender flower with sharp thorns and mostly abundant in rocky areas. The beautiful orchids are also seen and sighted. They are Cypripedium himalayicum, Galanthe, Malaxicus, and most common Hatazeria. Rheum imodi, Dholu, and Rheum vabianum, Archa. Roots of these plants are very effective in internal injuries and in headache. Rhododendrons, brilliant red and sometimes pink. Flowers bloom in March-April, adding vivid splashes of color to the forests. This is the period when local people pluck and prepare from it a nice, sweet and healthy juice. This juice is highly medicinal in properties and works as a blood purifier. Common name for this plant is Silphari. Most common near the retreating avalanche, used for curing gallstones. Lidago virgoria. The golden rod is its common name. This plant is diuretic and medicines prepared from it cures cysatris, the old cancer medicine. Viola biflora. The roots and flowers of this plant are emetic, diaphoretic and antispasmodic agents. Hippophae tibetana is a nice source of vitamin C. It grows throughout the Bhundiar Valley, mostly near riverbanks or near water reservoirs. The local people use it as a chutney in their daily food habits. Peonli. This very common flower shows its presence in folk songs of Uttarakhand and throughout the land area ranging up to 1,800 meters. So many folk songs are in the air praising the beauty of the beloved maid, comparing with this flower. Most common species found in the valley are geranium, balsam, anemone, epilobium and polygonum. Other beautiful flower species germinate, flower and seed in between these common flower species. From May to September, the valley changes its hue so many times, starting from barren brown colors of May to green in June, pink in July, white in August, and again barren brown in September. With the change of seasons, the valley also changes its hue and fragrance. With every 2 or 3 weeks gap, the valley looks different and the process continues throughout the year. Here, nature shows its beauty in full swing. It seems that nature has gifted all its precious ornaments to this valley. The glittering raindrops, clung with the leaves of Rosa macrophylla, gives a feel of the heavenly stars of the night. Thus, it is impossible to elaborate its enchanting beauty in a few words. One who joins the valley can only be definitely in a condition to feel the essence of the valley with its flowers. The wealth of herbal medicines found in these zones and current level of pressure are well known. There are clear indications that many medicinal herbs have become rare and others are at the threshold of extinction due to overexploitation and habitat degradation. The valley gives relief from a daily hustle-bustle life of a metro or a city life. The cloud formation, the crawling of the fog over snow-clad peaks, the sound of the wind when it blows through the dry flower plant or a gorge, all gives a peace of mind and rejuvenates the soul. Paradise on earth, the Alpine Meadows. They call it the Valley of Flowers.